Okay, kuningi South Africans, kuningi. So let's start here. There's a developing story that just broke that the people that were accused at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, the police officers at Kureni that were stealing and hijacking and unaliving, they got arrested. So, like I said, it's a developing story. I shall come back to report on it, I believe, once they have appeared in court, so that we get to know who their names are and what they are accused of and all that stuff. Good. That's good, even though it took weeks, but I'm happy with that. Secondly, Senator Tunu is coming at 2 o'clock at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and I expect nothing but intellectual mind games that he's going to play. It's not intellectual, it's more like political mind games that he's going to play with us, being economical with the truth. But hey, South Africans are watching, and I hope he read the room when he appeared at the head of committee. Well, these guys are ANC guys. These guys are like pouring cold water on a duck's back to try and clear their names. But hey, he might surprise us, but I'm not holding my breath. Now, let's come to the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this morning, day 2 of Dr. Mashazi, to continue her testimony, even though she said, if I come back tomorrow in this place, I'm going to have a stroke. Well, you are back, ma'am, because you are an accounting officer, since you keep reminding us. As an accounting officer, yeah, you are here to account. This is what you call accounting, not the stuff that you were doing at Kureni. I'm not quite sure what you were running there. Fiefdom as the queen. Anyways, let's go on. There are some few things that I forgot my notebook. Let me get my notebook real quick. Let's see, what did I say here in this notebook? Oh, I say bring back the money. Hey, bring back the money, both Mr. Juju Mkhwanazi and the pension money that was paid out to Dr. Mashazi. That also needs to come out. And I'm saying this to say, Dr. Mashazi concedes in the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that there are irregularities on how Julius Mkhwanazi was appointed acting police chief. So he acted as a police chief for like, I think 2 or 3 days. And then I guess he got drunk with the power and loved it. And then he also realized that, oh, my salary also gets to increase. How do we get rid of that man? I mean, he took a break. To me, it sounded like a coup of some sort. And then Mapia comes back and he gets suspended, and then Mkhwanazi's appointment is prolonged. But the part that really, really drove me up the wall about this doctor, we'll come back to that, is that during interviews for the position of deputy police chief, there were irregularities that Dr. Mashazi, wait, where is that thing? I hope it's this one. Dr. Mashazi. Okay. I'm a DJ. The joys of being a one-man show. You're a producer, director, you're a filmmaker, you're a scriptwriter, and on top of that, you're a person that watches and analyzes. The joys of being a YouTuber. I hope you guys get to appreciate this. And thank you so much to those of you who send me super thanks, because you understand. You understand. And thank you so much for the support as well. Please like the video too in the process. Dr. Mashazi, ma'am, I'm beginning to ask myself this question about your PhD. Whether it's PhD in nursing, PhD in law, whatever PhD. And you did not, or you were not aware of irregularities as a whole doctor whose life was spent here. Wait, this does not make sense. This is an irregularity. Let me know that so that in our next meeting, we are going to deal with this and somebody needs to be held accountable and heads must roll. Because I see here a crime. Full stop. Okay. That's what we know PhD products do. They scrutinize, they analyze, they, pinpoint things that don't seem right, and then they bring it to the fore. And you are an administrator, a whole administrator, an accounting officer who's also a PhD holder. I am hoping that, I don't know if this question is going to be asked in the Madlang Commission of Inquiry as a departing point. Departing point. If it's not, I hope somebody in the ad hoc committee, if Dr. Mashazi is going to end up in the ad hoc committee, I would just want her to go there for this one question. And I hope it's going to be asked by a relevant member of parliament who can actually engage her and interrogate her on the following. In fact, this one thing. Her dissertation as a PhD candidate, I would like to hear her either share it, defend it, or share it type of situation. Her thesis, her PhD thesis as well, that actually got her the PhD degree. I would like to hear, honestly, what ideas did she have? What flaws did she see that made her go all the way to that level of education? And what solution did she offer in her dissertations that qualified her for the PhD and etc. and so and how was that accepted, and then she was granted a PhD degree as a result? Please, member, can it not be asked by somebody who know nothing about stuff? Because the ad hoc committee frustrates me a lot. Oh, Krotman or Baba. Hey, don't get me started with those people. Honestly speaking, don't get me started with those people. But I would like to know that. And then the money that I talked about earlier. Those appointments are irregular. And therefore, the salaries that Mkhwanazi has been earning are irregular. And therefore, they need to be recovered. Bring back the money. And then Dr. Mashazi, as an accounting officer, with all these irregularities that she's denying, which I don't think she was not aware, because how do the tricks that these corrupt people have, they are so good at corruption but bad at service delivery. I would be so understanding. Well, I know crime is a crime, right? But fana jenge gundwane, be like a rat. You bite and you blow. What does that mean? I know we made some irregularities in appointing this individual, but let's also deliver services to the people. When you deliver services, people don't pay attention to the irregularities. And here is my other very stressful question, because as I'm listening to Dr. Mashazi and her irregularities, Mpo Mafule was unalived, I think, early this year. Thank goodness the triggerman was caught. But I don't think the triggerman is going to talk just yet, but he will talk at some point. Now I'm beginning to wonder, since this city manager usurps powers from officials, what are the chances that Mpo Mafule was also, put aside, and they got an outside auditor who probably cooked the books? Because yesterday, Dr. Mashazi was very proud to say that her city has always had clean audits. But have you seen Kureni though? Campton Park, rotten to the core. And I'm talking infrastructure wise. The streets are not drawn, the robots are not working, you name it and you name it. Sometimes refuse is not collected. Kuningi. So what are the chances that Umpo got fed up of sitting in some corner reading newspapers, like how they wanted Speech to do that, the same, while auditing firms from outside? And I would assume it's not just a KPMG type of situation. It's going to be owned by somebody that she knows, or a family member, or a friend, or something like that, which now I'm also questioning the head of legal, their own appointments type of situation. And probably Mpo became fed up. And then he thought, let me blow the whistle on what's going on. And that is how he was unalived. This stresses me out. Because as I'm listening, and I'm not accusing Dr. Mashazi of being involved or responsible for the unaliving of Umpo, but this is a thought that also needs to come to the front and interrogated. Why was Umpo Mafule unalived? Who is the person responsible for it? And can we talk to the gunman? Because, like I said before, sometimes we need to negotiate. Yes, as painful as it is, we need to get to the mastermind. Sometimes you have to go to the gunman and say, listen, we will reduce your sentence from life maybe to 15 years or 12 years even. But you need to tell us who is the mastermind behind this unaliving. Okay, I think they are getting back because it's tea time, and I think I've spoken a lot, and we shall talk some more because my two IQs are going wild in my head. But bring back the money. And also, PhD, ma'am, how did you get that PhD? You don't sound like a PhD holder either. Remember, obvious. You talk like me. I don't have a PhD. I'm very simplistic in my speeches and how I talk and how I deliver things. Yeah, that's me. But also, I don't think I'm stupid. Well, we'll talk later. Goodbye.